Welcome back, everybody, to the Nevin Shapiro Show. I'm Mike Tirado. I'm here with Nevin Shapiro, and today we actually have our first guest appearance, Nicholas Greene here, who is, if you remember, on Fan Questions Only, he won the shirt for the question that he had asked Nevin about Mario being an alpha dog and all that. We are going to be signing him a shirt today, actually, and giving that to him. We appreciate him coming on the show as our first guest to give his perspective, his own fan perspective of the Miami Hurricanes. So before the video starts, please click that subscribe button. We're dropping videos every week for you guys, and as always, let's get into the action. These are, by the way, all of Nick's questions that he had put together for you.
Listen, and before you even start,
Yeah.
let me just say this to whoever's watching. Anybody who wants to come on this thing and sit down and talk shit with me, step right up and come in.
Yep.
I love it. And even if you hate my guts, hate me and I'll give you the platform. And you can see what you know or what you think you know. And I don't duck recreation. Everyone who knows me knows it. Show just right. I'll start doing a show every day if it warrants it. I don't even need to sleep.
There you go. So yes, these are all Nick's questions that we're going to ask of, Nevin now. So
And by the way, I met this guy 5 minutes ago.
there you go. So, all right. First topic that Nick would like to talk about is all of Mario's of what he calls debacles. So the Middle Tennessee loss, his first year, the no-knee Mario that he calls him. Why don't you show him the shirt that you brought? So he brought this shirt.
Custom made.
Custom made. It says "Take a knee" for
Take a knee,
Mario
Mario.
Cristobal. So, and then the third one is how we lost to Syracuse. Those are the three debacles. So,
You want me to address all
yeah, give your perspective on it, and then you can go ahead, Nick.
Yeah.
So one thing that I don't really want to do, as I've stated, is I don't want to go on a anti-Mario campaign and just start bashing the shit out of him. I'm more about the upside and positivity of let's get this thing right and do whatever. I think his transgressions have been well documented. There's no question there were some really embarrassing moments. The Middle Tennessee State is up there with one of the all-time great debacles in University of Miami football history.
Yeah.
I'd say getting shut out 48-0 by Virginia last game in the Orange Bowl, losing to piss poor FIU, and that was probably up there. That's one. Two, taking a knee, so obvious. We all know. If you haven't learned from that, meaning Mario, then, you'll never learn. And the Syracuse thing, I've already made a pledge that I wouldn't keep bringing it up because for me, it's just a real disgusting point that it's a stench that I'd prefer forget. And I know where I stand as far as if I were to see that type of repeat situation, I think he would about lose me forever. If I'm not almost there because of that. So obviously you have a guest that's on and I'll answer whatever, but that's my specific feelings as it relates to those three topics. You know where I stand on Mario. Everything forgiven. Playoffs, ACC champions. Next move. Anything other than that, there is nothing to speak about.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Nick. What's your bring up that first point?
To lose to Middle Tennessee State by 21 points. I mean, it's like taking your freshman team and smoking the varsity. You shouldn't even be in the same realm. It just shouldn't. The fact that we paid the school to beat us is terrible. And then the defensive lineman who crushed our O-line, we had him transfer to us, Marley Cook, because he embarrassed us. I mean, it's it's every year it's something with this guy. We do something terrible every year. And this year, what is it going to be? We're going to end the game with multiple timeouts, needing time to stop. What's it going to be with this guy?
For the people, whoever are watching, obviously, a disgruntled fan with some internal issues that haven't been resolved. And, I like to be the voice of reason. And as my assistant, Mike Tirado, sees often, even though I take a lot of heat,
Yeah.
Although there's a lot of love too, I will
Yes,
say.
there is.
But like I've really become the Dr. Phil of the University of Miami football pulse. And Nick, because you're a first time guest here, I'll share my services with you for free.
Appreciate that.
And let's see if we can get to a better tomorrow. But your feelings are well justified, and I'm going to give the platform to whoever wants to come out and air this. I mean, I'm not the only one who sees this, right? I mean, I'm not the only one who sees this. Maybe I'm the one because I'm a focal point or lightning rod of a personality as it relates to the University of Miami, but like I'm just honest.
Yep.
If you want certain guys, and I don't even want to give them credit, who do these podcasts, so I don't really watch, but I see because they show up on my page. I mean, and I could go name by name. Like, you want to listen to these guys blow smoke up your ass, feel free. I'm going to give it to you raw and real.
Yep.
And that's it. And anyone who knows me knows it.
And on the Nevin Shapiro show, we never preface any questions with Nevin.
I don't care what you ask me. I don't care what you think. I will share that, and just like, if Mario wins a national title, I'll bring him his bottle of whatever. Here, man. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
But until I see what I expect, you're going to catch it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you didn't
I was
want
going to say something else.
Go ahead.
The one
go
thing
ahead.
why I made the shirt, the No Knee, and I call him No Knee Mario, is what I hated about after not taking a knee, because let's be honest here. If Don Chaney takes a knee and goes against his word, he's not getting playtime. Henry Parrish is going to get all the snaps, and then I believe Mark Fletcher was a freshman that year, taking reps as well. So he would have, going against an alpha dog, as Mario calls himself, it would have killed his playtime and probably ruined his career at Miami. I mean, he didn't do fantastic with us. He transferred to Louisville, had a pretty good season there. But I hate how he went on the post game after and was like, we preach carrying the ball and protecting the ball first. It should have never been in that hands. My grandmother, God bless her soul, 15 years with dementia, she didn't forget how to take a knee, playing football and watching football. It's just such a common thing. I don't understand.
I've had a lot of experience with other sexes taking a knee. I know how easy it really is.
Oh shit. Well, we're not going to get into the Syracuse one because we already
we beat that we beat that one to death, man.
Yeah, that one.
Actually,
No
one
pun
thing about
intended.
Syracuse. If you watch the game, look at every third and short play, what they did. They ran a little speed out on Kiko Mauinoa, and it beat us 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Our linebackers are seriously lacking. They have been.
God.
Yeah.
And I think that's
That
the
was a
weakest-
Guidry problem
I think that's
right
the
there.
weakest part of our unit.
It still is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the second topic that Nick would like to talk about is our head defensive coordinator hire. He called it a pitiful hire of Corey Heatherman. What is your, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit, but, for the sake of the show, what's your take on him currently?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And that doesn't mean I believe in him. I'm just going to give him a fair shot. When you pay a head coach a significant amount of money, as Mario has received, you've got to make solid decisions.
Yeah.
And I think he really underperformed in his last defensive coordinator hire. Significantly underperformed. And that falls on him. That doesn't fall on Lance Guidry. That falls on Mario, right? And I would tend to believe that he has really good intel, as I've shared with you. I would hope he has really good intel on this defensive coordinator. I'm willing to give him a fair chance. All three of us know it can't be worse than what it was under any circumstance. So if they gave up 30 a game, they've improved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reserve comment until I see, at the very least, the first month of our season. They're gonna get tested 2 times in the first month, 3 times in the first 5 weeks. and I don't even know if Florida State's really a test offensively, but let's just say they're for sure a top Power 5 conference team.
Right.
And I think we're going to know early on about how this guy is and how his system is.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to give him a fair shake. There were better hires. I'm positive, without knowing specifically or having one I can point out. But just because a guy's unknown, that doesn't mean he can't coach. And sometimes you look for the sexy name, and maybe the sexy name's not the best answer. So let's give him a shot, and I'll sit on the fence with him and reserve comment.
My only problem with it is this is your third DC in your fourth year as head coach. You're hoping and praying this guy is going to be something phenomenal, which, I mean, he had, I believe Minnesota was his only Power 5 team as a defensive coordinator. He came from Pace University before that.
Yeah.
And
he was at Rutgers under Shiano.
But did you ever
for a little
resolve
bit.
that question for me? Was Pace high school? Or
No, it's a college.
No, it's a college. Pace
a
University is a college.
So
you better pick up the pace, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
I would agree with you. But let me ask you something, Nick.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe the turnover in coaching staff has to do with the coach?
I mean, feel like
meaning the head coach.
Yeah, I feel like he just doesn't want to accept the fact that it was a bad hire, so he doesn't want to give him time to develop. So he's like, I gotta get rid of him now. Like, I need a quick fix replacement. I look at Ohio State's hire. They hired Matt Patricia as their defensive coordinator. There's your difference. In a national championship winning program that's going to do something.
I made that point the day after it happened on.
Yep, we said it here in the podcast.
That's the levels of our programs. Look who they go after. Look who we go after.
So here's one of the other things that I think is interesting. For the money they're spending on a guy, let's say Carson Beck. I'm not going to poke at Carson Beck, but let's just talk about whoever that would have been, but it just so happens to be Carson Beck for that kind of money. Wouldn't you have put maybe some more money into a hire like a Matt Patricia and really shore up your core of your team?
Yep.
I agree.
Saying, I totally agree.
I'm not trying to
that.
play Monday morning quarterback, but I just think, and I know a lot of people that are close to the program who feel the same way. Some former players that I've had crazy discussions about regarding how much money they paid Carson Beck.
Yeah.
And to some degree, I guess there's a little bit of jealousy because these guys came in an era where that money was not around, but they also think it's ludicrous.
I think it's complete. And we were going to, talk about Carson Beck later, but yeah, it totally is something that is absurd under the circumstances of what you're talking about, how there is other areas that could need focus with this money. They could have reallocated that money elsewhere other than putting it all, in a sense, putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they don't have any money left. I'm not saying that, but
there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
We're creating content because it's just exciting to talk about, and we have a lot of shit we can talk between now and the season. But this all this hype and flipping this recruit that just flipped from Georgia to Miami, and it's all good banter, but really it gets down to one thing: just fucking win, man, on fucking August 31st. Because all this shit don't mean nothing, man. You ain't winning no national titles for recruiting, none. And I'm gonna give it we'll do I don't know how many shows between now and then. But the one thing I'm going to say is, no matter how many we do, these guys better fucking win in September, starting August 31. Because, man, that seat's going to get cooking. And I don't think he's going anywhere. I can't say he fulfills the whole contract, Mario. But I got a feeling he goes deep into the night on his 10 years.
And I think we spoke about this before, it's more you feel that the Moss brothers don't want to accept that.
Not only that, I just think it's a boys club, and It's Mario Cristobal or nothing for the Miami fan base. So get used to it.
Yeah. Oh God.
Don't make me charge for my next segment.
All right, so let's get to this next topic here. So Nick feels, and I'm sure a lot of, I know a lot of the fan base from just answering a lot of direct messages and comments, so I see it too, that we were in reality 7-5 with Cam Ward because we got 3 magical calls.
So let me just first ask
Okay.
this. Nick, is that how you feel?
100%.
Okay. I didn't want there to be any third party.
No, this is
Okay.
This is reading from what he
Okay.
wrote. This is all he heard his questions.
So, everyone saw it. Everybody saw it, and they really just they underachieved.
Yeah.
That I don't let's throw out the loss in the bowl game. That game meant nothing, and people were in, people were out. Throw that out. They underachieved. They had 2 chokes. 1 real choke. It was a debacle. Now, anyone that thinks that they won 10 wins and it was an improvement, stop it.
Nope. Nope. Not at all.
Just stop it. Because
I agree.
they didn't beat anybody. And yeah, it's an improvement over years past records. And they didn't beat anybody. They beat a decent Louisville team. And they beat a way overmatched Florida team at the very beginning of the year. And I'm not saying that it wasn't a beatdown, because as we all know and I've alluded to, they fucking bitch slapped that team in their own house. They did.
Yeah.
But Florida was a much improved team later in the year, and I hate the Gators. But it was a real disappointment of a season because they blew a golden opportunity. For the sake of us having someone on the show, I'll speak about it, but you know where I stand on it, and I prefer close the book on last year. It was a disappointment. And if you think otherwise with the number 1 pick in the draft, you're crazy.
Yeah. Our schedule was just so easy last year compared to our previous ACC schedules. Mm-hmm. I mean, we didn't have
And
North
this
Carolina
year.
last year, who's owned us for 6 straight years. Just spanked us.
Tailor made.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that girl's got incredible tits. Sorry.
back to the program.
Might have to edit that one out. Might have to take that out.
But yeah,
All right, whatever.
if I look at it too, if you looked at our roster on paper, you can't tell me we weren't a top 15 in the country, top 10 maybe, on paper with our roster. It was incredible. You did nothing with it. You literally, you went nowhere. It was all for nothing
So
in my eyes.
So let me intervene for a second. So
Okay.
you've, I'm sure, hated my guts over the course of our situation. So what's some of your commentary now that you've had a chance to meet me, watch some of my show?
Yeah.
What's your input now? And then
Yeah.
I'm not fishing for compliments. You could still think I'm a piece of shit.
No, definitely a nice guy. It's not what the media put out. And I would say, for anyone who thinks he doesn't have connections, you're an idiot. Anything that comes out that they say is you're not going to get better information either way. There's just not possible.
We try to tell them, but it's better heard from you.
I just met them. There is no better, deeper. You're not going to get more information than what they're providing.
Yep.
It's impossible. The stuff I've seen, forget it. Forget it.
Hopefully that clears that up. I don't know what else really there's to say.
We're not trying to impress anyone, but if you want the real, I'll give it you. And there's a big announcement coming on a pregame podcast situation. It's going to be me and 3 former players doing a pregame every Friday. Schedule is yet to be set. And so for all you people and naysayers who don't believe I know who I know or it was what it was, make sure you watch because you won't get it better
Yep.
or raw
Yep.
from some guys that are telling you it's raining, but they're really pissing down your leg. And Santa Claus is really just a fat man in the Northeast.
So let's close with a couple of topics. We're going to close with these. So, he believes, that in his words, if you think we're 10-2 or better next season, you're higher than the crackhead in Fort Lauderdale Ave.
Yep, Alpha Los Olas.
So, according to Nick, he does not feel that we're going to be better with Carson back. We might as well just get into Carson back now with this whole thing. So, do you feel that we will be better than 10-2 next year?
Well, I've given you my opinion.
I know, it's just for the sake of the show.
I've given you my opinion. My opinion is I don't see a game where they can't win.
Right.
They've got the ability to go undefeated. Will they go undefeated? It's really hard to drink the Kool-Aid, right? When this team has just disappointed you and the coaching hasn't been what it should have been in certain games that were definitely winnable. So I'm just optimistic, though cautious, because it's just hard to just keep getting fooled again. It just is. I don't. There's no other way to put it. If they put together I really thought this past year they would go 12-0, which would have really been impressive because at least it wasn't a really tough schedule, but at least they would have gone coast to coast, A to Z, just taking the ride. And I really didn't see a lot, especially when they were 8-0 or 9-0. How do you, the games they lost? That's coaching, man.
Yep.
That's just that's your head coach. There's no, I'm not your coordinator. That's your head coach. That's your head coach. And all this talk about accountability. You know where I stand on this matter. It's really it angers me. Just don't talk it, be it. Man, just be about it if that's what you're gonna do,
Yep.
And that's why, I look and I've spoken to, you know how many former players I've spoken to or continue to speak with, and I tell them, listen, this guy talks competition. Okay, I'm competition. I'm a part of the media at this point in time. I'm competition. I'm calling him out. That's competition. You want competition? Here's the competition, and the competition is show me. Don't tell me. Every recruit or this and that, the use back. Okay, be back. But don't tell me when you're back. Just be back. And then everyone will know you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. After I watched that first game against Florida, I agree with you. I thought we were going 12-0, just going to start running the table. Because that was arguably our hardest game, was the first game of the season, to start it. And then the way we went in there and, we embarrassed them, pummeled them.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be incredible, this run that was able to be made. And then,
we have talent. They have talent. Okay.
Tons of talent.
They got talent. Just show it. Coach it up, man.
Absolutely. So Nick's hardest there's a couple hard games, but really Nick is seeing a landmine game, like you like to call it, being the Pitt game, the last game of the year. And Eli Holston from Pitt, he had a really good season last year, 62%. Miami has notoriously over the years been bad in the weather, especially late, and we call it the November debacles.
And that's coming on the heat right after playing Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
So it's just really safe to say that there's no free passes. What looks like, we're trained Miami fans to think we're just never going to lose.
Yeah.
So we've always thought oh yeah, we'll handle this. Oh yeah, we'll handle this. There's no one in our way. But these games are in our way. Until we prove that we can just walk through teams where it doesn't matter if we're on the road or at home or if it's cold, you just take care of business. So is it a landmine game? I think it's a game-by-game season.
Of course.
Truthfully, I think it's a game-by-game season. Because if they were to lose, I'm going to say if they were to lose, and I'm not saying they're going to, but if they were to lose 2 games, let's say they lose Florida and Notre Dame, Let's say they lose Florida and Notre Dame. What's their psychology? What's their psyche
Yep.
the rest of the way? A Pittsburgh game doesn't even become a landmine. It becomes an imminent possibility they go down. You've got to really go game by game. Very hard, and that's why when we did this thing a few weeks ago, Nevin, give me the score. Like, that's going way. Picking the game's even a reach. But to give you a score, way too early. Way too early. Injuries could happen between now and then. We don't know who's going to the transfer portal. They may be going to get more
acquisitions.
They have to. That linebacking course sucks. It sucks.
Yep.
Maybe there's a young kid, Bobby Pruitt. Maybe there's a young kid that's going to come out and be that guy. I hope there is. But as of now, there's not. Francis McGough was no great shakes, right?
Mm-mm.
I watched him fucking reach for air often.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, he was like, he was doing yoga moves out there, and I'm just honest, man. That's it.
Yeah. What's your commentary on that, Nick? Since it's your question.
I feel like that's a personnel problem. Like with going back to that Syracuse game, if you watch any third and short, he was getting blown out the water. Why don't we take him out and use Wesley Blasaint, who's a more athletic guy, to cover that slot receiver, that running back who's running that little speed out route? I mean, I just feel like it bothers me so much.
You're a frustrated Miami fan.
Oh, beyond.
You're a frustrated Miami fan. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there that really will back Mario till you're 6 feet under. And that's okay, but just be honest about what the situation is. Mario's done a really good job recruiting. Contrary, I just did an X Live last week, and there was commentary from some well-known celebrities, let's just say, that don't think Mario's such a great recruiter.
Yeah.
And I didn't agree necessarily, but this is also a high school coach in South Florida who feels that way. So I'm not down there in the trenches. Like, I'm not on the ground, doing the recruiting and this and that. Mario's a relentless recruiter, though. And that I will say. And he's in your face. And, his results have been really good, in my opinion.
Right.
But I think it's more about developing the talent than it is. Recruiting is obviously crucial. But developing it is equally as crucial.
Yeah,
or else you got
really
guys
is.
like Leonard Taylor and James Williams.
Yeah.
Right? That come in over the top 5 stars, and one doesn't get drafted and the other one barely gets drafted.
Yeah.
And that's in my opinion, coaching and development.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, look how much better Cam Kitchens did in the NFL than what he was doing with us.
Happens.
Guy's a stud
Yeah.
for the Rams right now.
So I'm gonna put this down because we're gonna close with this. This is the last topic. I'm gonna start with you, Nick, because we've already done this banter a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But I know you wanted to kind of get in on the banter of what you had told me when we first started talking about this 01 Hurricanes 2019 LSU debate.
Yeah.
So we really beat the piss out of this topic, but
I just don't
go
see
ahead.
how people think even this game's close. If we play at our peak prime and their peak prime, are they putting up more than 17 points on our defense? If that, I don't think it's possible.
Listen,
first of all, they're not going to have a run game. They had one running back. Who the hell was their backup? I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
I can tell you our three: Clinton Portis, Frank Gore, and Willis McGahee. Willis McGahee being my favorite Cane of all time.
Najee Davenport as well.
Yeah, he was there too. I mean, and then I just don't understand how they were going to score. You had 3 offensive weapons, and then if you didn't have the line to block for Joe Burrow, he was going to get smothered. Like you say, he's going to. How's he throwing the football from the ground on his ass?
Like, I have read some of the comments because I'm not allowed to really read my comments, and I have so many friends. I really do. I probably have about 10 really good friends in New Orleans, right? So this has nothing to do about the Louisiana people. This is a specific topic about the 2019 LSU Tigers and the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. And those 2019 Tigers can eat a dick. I mean, can I be any more clear? They can eat a dick. I mean, we would fuck them up, man. Like I'm telling, like I know, like people must, and like people don't understand. Let's get past the actual talent. The Miami mindset in that time, and everyone's like, "Well, that Ohio State ended. You didn't end that team's run. You ended a run where Brian McKinney had gone. Our offensive line wasn't the same.
Yeah.
They didn't. Ohio State didn't end that team's run. Like, who wants this conversation? I'm starting to shoot at fan bases. I've already decided that, like, I see where the engagement lies. And the engagement lies where, like, I got to call out fan bases. Next up's Ohio State. I'm about done with this LSU shit. You guys, I'm about done with it. Ohio State, you're next up. I don't care if you're the defending national champion or not. You guys know you fucking heisted. You know you didn't win that game. You could think you're wearing a ring. Here's what you could fucking do with your ring. That ain't even a real ring.
Yeah.
And the other fan base I'm coming for is that Alabama fan base. I'm coming for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'd say with that 0-2 Ohio State loss, Terry Porter graduated from Ohio State and he threw the flag.
Yeah, well,
30 seconds on the other side of the
I can
field.
assure you,
How the
he
hell
threw
is
the
he
flag and I threw a bottle at his head, and I got taken out of the game. Listen to me, we're coming back to that, Nick. You're here for a short period of time. We're happy to see you. We got some parting gifts for you, and don't get me hyped, man. It's early. I didn't even get my coffee. I just got back from the Final Four. Are we done?
I think so. So with that, we're going to conclude the episode. We really appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Before you leave, click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Drop a thumbs up. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.
Can we get some fans in this place? I need some. I need some sparring.
Now, we'll catch you on the next one.